Hello everyone. My name is Prashant, and today we are going to see a specific use case of VLOOKUP, which is known as half VLOOKUP. Yeah. So this is a question which sometimes occurs in different kind of interviews where, uh, VLOOKUP we all know is used to extract data by looking up a specific column or specific value. But in half VLOOKUP, is isn't the complete term that we're trying to find out. There is a specific part of a term that we need, and based on that we'll be doing that lookup. Right, let's see how this happens. Maybe this example will give you a better idea. So I'm just sharing my screen. Yeah, so as you can see in this particular example, what we have is there is specific list of names and their sales values. There are people who have done some sales. So as you can see, these names have their aliases at the beginning. For example, Prashant Ranjit Mahato's alias is PRM, Gaurav Munjal's alias is GM, and so on. And they also have their names intact. But if you look at the requirement side, so we have the alias names over here only. So there is a list of alias names like PRM, RS, and all those things, and we need to extract the sales. Now, obviously, as I also reiterated in the beginning of the video, that VLOOKUP can help us to look up certain values. But the problem here is that if we try to do a VLOOKUP, let's just put up a simple VLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP, we want the lookup value, which is the alias, and this will be my table array. I'm not fixing it right now because we need a single value. And we need the data from the second column, which is the sales. And over here, we have exact match as false. So that being said, this gives me hash n. And the reason is pretty clear because we are trying to match up this alias RS over here, which doesn't exist. I mean, only the RS part doesn't exist. We have the complete name also with it. Now, how to go ahead with this? So this is exactly where half VLOOKUP comes into space. Half VLOOKUP talks about just matching a specific part or a specific value. It's not talking about matching the complete term, which means I need to look out for RS somewhere in this particular part, but how to represent it? So for that, we'll be needing the use of fuzzy logic. So what does fuzzy logic mean? Fuzzy logic is a way of matching terms, and there are few expressions that we can use. For example, this is just like, this is just a dummy example. Don't associate this with the question over here. So for example, if I'm writing a star, so star is the special character which helps us to, do a matchup. If I'm writing a star somewhere, or if I'm using the fuzzy logic expression a star, that means that we need to match terms which are beginning with a. If I'm using expression like star a, that means I need to match up terms which are ending in a. And if I'm using an expression like star a star, that means I need to match up terms which are having a. Right now, since over here all the alias names are at the beginning, right, we can leverage that information. And how to write it down, as I said, we'll be using fuzzy logic. And over here the requirement is that we need to bring out sales, and the expression we are going to use is, we'll be using the alias and we'll put a star at the end because we need to match up with terms which are beginning with that specific alias. So what do we write? We write VLOOKUP. The lookup value obviously has to be this alias, but we cannot leave it just like that. We need to put up a star. Now, I'm not going to put up a star directly over here because this is a cell address. So I cannot write I1 star because that will not be recognized. In order to get this recognized, I need to do a concatenation. And Excel by default, sorry, since this is a text, we need to put it in double inverted commas. Since Excel can do a single resolution on its own, we don't have to put any kind of indirect function. So indirect function, if you want to have a better understanding, you can go to my Excel full course over there I have discussed in direct. So over here, what we're doing is I1, and we need to concatenate and or ampersand as we generally call it in technical terms, will concatenate I1 and star. So I1 obviously is literal over, it's not literal, it's the cell address. So it is going to pick up RS and then it will put up a star. Table array that we need is this particular table. And then obviously we need the second column. And in order to do an exact match, we put up false. So as you can see over here, the sales value has been retrieved. And if I want to change the alias, for example, I do it MR, it becomes 4,000. PRM will give you 1,000 and so on. So half VLOOKUP specifically talks about matching up a specific subset, not the complete value. I hope this makes it a little bit clear as to how you can approach these kind of problems. So I'll be coming up with more such questions. But if you have any other question in your mind, you can definitely get back and let me know. So that's it for this video. Keep watching. Thank you so much.